guys, welcome back. Alright, so today we are doing...
What?
Actually, I am doing things that I did not know I needed as a new mom. But before we jump into that, we're going to do a quick little Q&A with Jeff because you guys had some questions and today is a solo video, so I thought I'd throw him in here. Also, Jeff has no idea what the questions are, so good luck. First question was, how was our birth experience? I'm going to let you, from your point of view, how was my birth experience?
It went pretty good overall, I'd say. There's not any big issues or anything, so besides when you got the epidural, that was pretty rough. It took forever, and they stabbed you a million times, but besides that, everything went quick and smooth and came out perfect.
Yes. Yeah, so quick recap, I was only in labor for 19 hours. I got induced and it moved along pretty slowly at the beginning. And then I got my epidural and that was miserable. It took them 45 minutes to get the epidural in and they had to use 6 different kits because the bottom of my spine's a little messed up. So they had a hard time getting the catheter in. I don't really remember.
They just kept missing something.
Besides that, so yes, it took 19 hours and then like an hour before he was born, like all of a sudden I just quickly went from a 5 to a 9, dilated, pushed for 23 minutes and he was out. So yeah, it was not a bad birth experience at all. How is motherhood and fatherhood going? I'd say for me it's going great. Yeah. This baby is a dream baby. I'm so sorry. You've been drooling and I wasn't paying attention.
Rude.
Anyways, can we listen to his cute little hiccups he's got during this whole video? No, he is a dream baby, so actually the adjustment to having a child has been really pretty good. Obviously there were a few things that, took us by surprise. We had to figure out, I mean, you have a new human in your life that you have to figure out their needs and their wants. So it does take a little bit of practice. Not everything's perfect, but I think Zakaya's pretty perfect as he can be.
Yep.
So
awesome. We love him so much.
We do. We love you so much. How many kids do you want?
Show it on his fingers.
Hey. I want like 4 kids.
If we get a girl, I think I'd be good after that.
He'd be good with 2, it sounds like. He's really undecided. I can't get an answer out of him ever.
I'm good with 1. It's so cool. Taking it 1 at a time.
Yes, so. But yeah, overall, I would personally love 4. Also fine with 2. Alright, and then we are going to wrap it up with this last question because Jeff has to get to work. What is your favorite thing about me?
About you?
About me.
That's a tough one. You're just so amazing and beautiful and strong and kind and the perfect mother.
It's like 15 things. Thank you.
You can't just pick one thing.
He's so cute. Is that your final answer?
What's your favorite thing about me?
My favorite thing about you, I think how patient you are with absolutely everything, including me. You like never get like hot and bothered like I do. You literally are always like so patient, like whether it's with me or Zakaya or the dog.
Someone needs to be the hot and bothered person.
And that's me. But no, you're always just so patient with us and you love on us every day and you're just the most amazing person in the world.
No, you are.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that we're done being all gushy, how about we get on with the rest of the video?
Sure.
Should Zakaya join me? He's supposed to be napping.
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Zakaya is going to join me for the rest of this video and Jeff is going to be off to work. Say bye to the followers.
Bye, followers.
Alright guys, are you ready to continue the rest of this video?
Yes.
You say bye, Papa. Bye, Papa. Alright guys, so if you hear anything, Zakaya is actually on the floor right next to me playing under his playmat, so he will probably make a few noises throughout this video. Everything will be linked down below, so go ahead and go check it out. Alright, so a lot of these products I was either gifted, somebody let me borrow, or I just straight up bought on Amazon because I had no idea I needed them until after Zakaya was born. So the first thing on the list is the baby shusher. At first I was totally like, I do not need this, but my neighbor actually let me borrow hers, and it was a lifesaver. The first week with Zakaya, we had an issue one of the nights with him. He actually couldn't hear for the first few days of his life, and then he ended up being able to hear. And everything around him was just super scary. He woke up in the middle of the night just screaming because his ears had drained, and yeah, so it was a rough night, long story short. And we ended up having the baby shusher with us, and the only thing that was calming him down was me shushing him, but at like 2 in the morning, I was getting tired of doing that. So we actually ended up using the baby shusher, and we used it on and off for the next couple weeks. I definitely would say if you could borrow it, because I personally did not need it very long. I only used it for like a couple weeks here and there, and then I returned it. The next thing I actually borrowed that I didn't think I would need is the Mamaroo. Yeah, and Zakaya actually really likes this one. I personally, if you could borrow it, I wouldn't buy it because it's so expensive. But Zakaya loves this one. We honestly use this thing daily. It just sits in the corner of the living room, and usually when we're like trying to cook dinner or something and he wants to be held, we'll just put him in it for a couple minutes just to get him to fall asleep. It's definitely not necessary. Like, we could probably live without this, but since we're borrowing it anyways, it has honestly been great. So I will say that. The next thing, and this one is totally random and really not even a baby product, but a tea jug, which actually it's not a tea jug, you can use it for anything, a jug to hold water. We formula feed, and Zakaya actually drinks room temperature water, so we just refill it daily with water to get it room temperature, and then we don't have to go back and forth and fill up the bottles from the fridge and stuff, which is a recently new trick we just came up with, but it's worked out really well for us. So the next thing, I swore I was not going to use this, a swaddle. So I was just very against it. I was never swaddled as a baby. I don't find it necessary to have 18,000 different swaddles, but Zakaya did great the first couple weeks, and then right around, I'd say 3 weeks old, his startle reflex started coming in, so he was actually hitting himself like in the face and stuff, and was waking himself up in the middle of the night, which was just not working for us because he normally sleeps really well through the night, so we weren't a fan of him waking up. So we swaddled him. We only used him for a couple weeks, and I only bought 3 because it's just a little 3-pack that we found. So that worked out well for us for the time that we needed them. I know everyone's different and has their own opinions on swaddles. We don't use one anymore. Thankfully, we only had to use it for a couple weeks, but it did work out for us for those couple weeks, and that's the one we used. The next thing, so I know this is gonna sound insane because I knew we needed these, and I have other ones. So anyways, let's get to what it is. So, bibs. I personally had a tub full of bibs for him for when he gets older for foods, with like the hard texture on the front to like just wipe them off and stuff. But I never thought to use bibs for him when we're like out and about and we're trying to feed him. I do a lot of like, if we're walking through the store and he needs to eat, I'll feed him kind of thing. And normally you'll just put a burp cloth across him. Well, I have found when you're walking through the store and you just put a burp cloth on your baby, a lot of times it'll get thrown off or it'll fall off. And so I really like these bibs. They work just like a burp cloth, so we just put them on him, and it works as a burp cloth, but it's obviously connected to him. So that is my opinion on that. We really like those ones too because there's multiple different colors and they look great with different outfits you can pair them up with. So I was gifted this during my baby shower by one of my best friends, and it's the Frida Nose like boogie sucker. I swore I was not going to use this thing because it like creeps me out. And for the first couple weeks I didn't. I just kind of used my nail, you know, to get anything out of Zakaya's nose that I needed to. But there was one day he sounded just super congested, and I really wanted to fix that problem, so I ended up using it and found out this thing is a dream because it gets every and anything out of his nose. So would definitely recommend it. Okay, these were a lifesaver. I was gifted these in a welcome home basket. Gas relief drops. I cannot say it enough. The first couple weeks, Zakaya was not going to the bathroom regularly, and he was super upset. And it was honestly because he had an upset tummy, and we had a couple nights where it was just really rough on him. And I gave him these drops, and they worked like a dream. So I live by them now. So honestly, we are new parents and everything is a learning curve, and this was the biggest learning curve yet. So Zakaya just turned 3 months old yesterday, and we just figured this out probably about a week ago. We just were not using the proper bottles for him. So we were just using like the cheapo bottles, which nothing wrong with them. They worked really well for the first couple weeks. But the older he got, the more he started drooling and choking. And so we were like, oh, let's just switch the nipple. It just was not working for Zakaya. I found out that I love these man bottles that we got. They are amazing. The nipple is perfect. Zakaya doesn't drool anymore when he's drinking. He's rarely gassy. So I definitely think if you have like a gassy problem with your baby, or their tummy is upset, or they're drinking not properly, don't hesitate to try something new. I feel like I was just so set in my ways on the bottle I had was the bottle I had, and I wasn't going to spend any more money. But what's most important is that Zakaya is feeling good, and I think it was important that we bought him new bottles, and so I'm glad that we did because it worked out really well. Black and white books. This was sent to us in the mail by one of Jeff's relatives, and I could not thank her enough for these books. I didn't even realize I needed these ones. It's way easier for them to see these black and white high contrast books. So I love these books. We read them to Zakaya, and he actually looks at them, and we set them up and he looks at them too. So I'm really glad that we got those ones. So this one is kind of a funny one that I thought of. Ink pads. So I really wanted to do like footprint things with Zakaya, but I heard paint is really messy, so I actually bought ink pads. The one that I bought is currently out of stock. I don't know if it's gonna get stocked back up, so I put another one on the registry as well. Kind of the same thing. So I love it. I do Zakaya's footprints all the time on things, and it has worked out really well using those ink pads. We actually did not think about this until like right before Zakaya was born, and then thankfully someone gifted us this right in time, a stroller. So like, let me explain this one. So we had a stroller that I was already gifted, and it was like a running stroller for like a toddler to sit in, or you could put the car seat in, which is great. But it did not have like switch to the bassinet, and yeah, it just didn't have all the functions. And Zakaya is 3 months old, and he still only is using the bassinet one. So he is laying down when we go for walks. Occasionally we'll put it up to the sitting one, but he's not sitting very well yet, so I don't like to have him in that one super long. But yeah, the stroller that we got is a dream, and I am super thankful that we have it. The next thing that I also did not know that I needed, but I love, my wrap. So this wrap right here, and here's a picture of me using it as well. This wrap has been a dream. Zakaya loves it. He can sleep on me with it. He looks around with it. You've seen us use it in videos. I am really glad that I realized I needed a wrap, and I got one. This one I actually got for a road trip. Oh, if you guys have seen our tornado video, if you haven't, please go check it out. But in our tornado video, I showed that I bought a new camera. It's the baby car camera. and I love it. We had the mirror in the car so that I could like see Zakaya, and I ended up not really liking that because I couldn't see his face as well as I wanted, and you can't see him at night. So I bought this just on a whim from a suggestion from a friend for the trip, and I use it every single day now when we travel. Alright, so the last 3 things. So I asked Jeff to give me a couple things for the list, and these are the 3 things that he told me. So the first thing he said is more burp cloths. So we had quite a few burp cloths already, but us personally, since we only have 1 kid, it's just the 2 of us, we only do laundry probably once a week, and burp cloths with a baby once a week, not enough. So we ended up buying a ton more burp cloths just so that we didn't have to like do extra laundry. So the last 2 things go hand in hand, and I 100% agree with Jeff on these 2 things. The first thing is be more selective with clothing, or don't buy too many clothes. Obviously we had a bunch of clothes gifted to us, and we bought a ton of clothes ahead of time. Nothing wrong with that, but I guess Jeff and I are both really picky about what we put him in, whether it's comfort for him or looking good when we go out. A lot of times when we're at home, we just keep him in pajamas because there's no point in dressing him up. With that being said, the pajamas that we dress him in, these, I live by these pajamas, and so does Jeff. Jeff said I can only buy him these pajamas from here on out. And I cannot stress this enough, Little Sleepies. These pajamas are a dream. I am not kidding you. They are so amazing. They are like the softest material ever. They're also grow with me pajamas, so the older that he gets, he can hopefully keep wearing them because they stretch out and they grow with him. So right now, all his pajamas, all his 0 to 3 month ones, we can like wrap his hands up. Eventually we'll be able to unwrap his hands, and then we'll fold the hands down, and then eventually it'll just fit him just right. With that long explanation, they also have the cutest prints, and I am obsessed with buying these things. So we have a lot of Little Sleepy pajamas for him, and I live by these pajamas. That is everything that I have for you guys. We are super excited to share a bunch of new content with you guys in the future, so don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when a new video comes out from us. I am gonna get a few things done because Zakaya is officially asleep on the playmat next to me. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this video. I will talk to you later and see you soon. Bye guys.